Hi folks, it's time for the beach and to figure out our economic situation to have a better universe, an excellent universe, so things are excellent for you and for everybody else. Please like, thumbs up, subscribe, comment. You can share these videos and click on the excellent universe words down below and see all the other videos which are really going to help you make good decisions. And if you follow them and do the other things, we'll have a much healthier, safer life. So thank you very much. Now, I'm continuing my videos about people talk about deflation and inflation and risks. This is for people who are concerned about their jobs, concerned about money and their pay, saving for retirement and investing for things in the future. Maybe you want to buy a house or you need to buy a car or something like that, and you're thinking, is now a good time to invest? It's 2022, it's February, and people are generally predicting what they call a bull market, which, oh no, I'm sorry, we've had a bull market. It's the end of the bull market, which means things going up. Up. Stock prices going up. The stock market's going up. Well, that's good for investors until things start going down. And a lot of the so-called high-tech growth stocks, which are many companies that have been growing, and some of them not even profitable, like the new electric vehicle related stocks, have also come down. So they went up, but then they've come down in 2021 and also in January, so last month, come down quite drastically. Many of them maybe 50 or 60% off of their highs. And people are also worried and talking about inflation. And it's a good worry. You really ought to be worried. And it's somewhat related to the government debt. So let me explain. So for all of you people that are voters out there, you have to wake up, educate yourself about economics, which is a major disaster. If you are a parent, you need to talk to your teachers and say, please teach my children economics, because it's not that hard to understand, just basic economics about how money works, because it's so very important, and it's something that is not taught in most public schools and private schools, I'm not sure. But it's important for life. People need to understand money, how to handle money, and how to have a good economy so that people can work and get food, housing, shelter. And we've made very bad mistakes, similar to Japan. Now, Japan, if you don't know much about the country, is a trading partner with the United States, very big economy. However, they've messed up so badly with spending, basically it's government spending, having terrible debt, and printing money like crazy. And their stock market was a disaster. It went up. It was at incredible highs in the 80s. I believe maybe the peak was 1986. And if it has recovered, it took until now, so almost over 40 years, close to it, somewhere around there, like 3 or 4 decades, for the people's investments in Japanese companies and stocks to sort of recover from what was a disaster. Like I said, it was government spending, and they have a ton of trains and infrastructure, buildings, bridges, and so on. And those are, in many cases, government programs and projects almost completely, plus a lot of corruption and money going to people that shouldn't have gotten the money in Japan. And so now the taxation is so bad, and the reason why I'm talking about this is because the United States is headed in the same direction. Terrible taxation in Japan because of terrible government debt from overspending. So that's why I say, parents, voters, smarten up, understand economics and vote for people and demand that we have, basically we need a constitutional amendment, amend the Constitution in the United States so that instead of ever increasing debt, we should have maybe debt limited to 50% of the GDP, or gross domestic product, which means basically the goods and services produced in the country per year. And if we limit government debt to that, if government needs money, then let them sell bonds or something, but we need to restrict the amount of debt unless there's some kind of like war disaster. So anyway, we do have legislation about debt, but they are allowed to vote and raise what's called the debt ceiling, and also allowed to spend more money and have more debt than the GDP of the United States, to the point where now the taxes the government collects are less than they have to pay just on the interest to so-called service the debt. So it's a huge disaster in the United States. That explains partly why the interest rates have been so low, which was good for business, but also good for government because it keeps those interest payments on the national debt low. We should have a surplus each year in the government, considering how much it spends and how much it takes in taxes. That should be another part of an amendment to the Constitution, because allowing the government to always have deficits is different than the total debt. It just means how much money the government is overspending each year compared to what it takes in taxes and other earnings. And so that's the deficit. So you should understand this. If you have a deficit, it means you're spending more than you're making. It doesn't work for human beings, for individuals. So why would we allow government to do it? Well, because rich central bankers and dreamy, full of dreams voters like yourself, if you don't already know this information, maybe you voted for people that just spend. You want some programs and you really hope the programs go through. Well, did you ever think about the disaster you're causing the country, which we're running into right now? Did you think about it? Because now is the moment of crisis. Prices are going up because government has to print money like crazy, trying